Encryption. So this currently in the region, there is a pretty big discrepancy between the law enforcement agencies that are using all encrypted radio transmissions for their dispatch nets versus like Portland, we don't encrypt our dispatch nets, but we encrypt tactical channels or side radio channels that we use for large-scale events. What we're finding over the last year is that that decision to not encrypt those dispatch radio nets has started to, we're seeing a rapid increase in situations where it's putting community members at risk. So I'll use an example of a stolen vehicle that officers pull in behind, recognize that it's stolen, and pursuit policy is pretty restrictive now. And so we've had incidents where we've brought in the aircraft to try and coordinate taking custody of the people in that. And those radio broadcasts, planning, decision-making are being monitored by apps on people's iPhones. And so the moment something that is identifiable about the vehicle is broadcast over the radio, the drivers put the foot to the floor and off it goes. And we've had what we would describe as eludes, because we don't pursue those people on the ground. We just follow them with the airplane, that have approached speeds over 100 miles an hour with nobody chasing them. They just become sort of a projectile moving through the city. And we're seeing that in other areas too that are probably even more sensitive. So Clark County encrypted all of their dispatch nets. The Portland system, because we were planning ahead to do that, all of our radios have that capability. And with sort of this escalation in events that we've seen over the last year, the discussion inside the Portland Police Bureau is to accelerate our transition to encrypting those dispatch nets. That sort of blocks out a lot of our regional partners from being able to work with us. And the Fire Bureau would be a really good example. The purchase of encrypted radios is pretty good with the Fire Bureau, but we have folks like the Cheers van or ODOT, the PBEM, PBOD. We sort of have a list here that was put together by BOEC of all of the various agencies, Portland State University Police, OHSU. While they all currently have the radios, those radios aren't encryption capable. And so while the Police Bureau is ready to make that transition, this funding is to help our regional partners sort of accelerate their timeline as well. The cost is specifically to purchase replacement radios. So all of these agencies already have radios. They already manage those radios themselves. The ongoing funding for it is covered there. Any questions? There has to be questions about this one.
I thought there was, and I don't know a lot, but I thought there was a state program for radios. Federal and state.
I'm not. If there is one, I'm not familiar.
State interoperable
Yeah.
communications.
Is there a grant? Is there a grant component to that?
I don't know if they cover this. I mean, I think
New equipment upgrades
Is
to the
it-
journal system.
So
Did you guys do a count to see how many radios you thought you were going to sell?
Yes, and this wouldn't even come close to filling it. It was an estimate that was done by Greg Licati at ComNet, and again, the goal was really to make a submission that was very easily scalable, that would give us the resource to help the folks that were really struggling to find the funding to move forward. We have discussions that really needed to happen to identify how big this problem is for the outside agencies outside the Portland Police Bureau. Those meetings haven't really happened yet.
So not with Multnomah County Sheriff or?
No, but we do know
Hillsborough
from talking
Police or-
to ComNet, for example, Multnomah County Sheriff, all of their deputies' portable radios like this are encryption capable, but all of the radios mounted in their cars are not. So just Multnomah County alone, I think, had an $800,000 shortfall in terms of what it would cost them to get up to speed. Having said that, a lot of the agencies in the region have plans to do this eventually. Again, we're sort of accelerating that timeline, and so some of the smaller agencies that maybe never really intended to go there are going to. Portland State University, Multnomah County, Bureau of Transportation, those folks. He had a fairly good idea of what the number was for all of those folks, but outside of the purview that ComNet or BOAC services, he didn't have a specific number.